Good morning mga kapatid. This is the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Signal TV's One News, Radyo 5 and One PH. So mga kapatid, the Senate and the HOR started a special session in order to address the COVID-19 situation in our country. HOR or the House of Representatives will largely go virtual, meaning by way of Zoom or Viber applications. Although merong mga reserved na mga tables and chairs doon ngayon na physical for our congressmen na dadalo, pero kaunti lamang po sila doon sa batasan. The Senate mostly in attendance ang mga senador except po for 2 or 3 who are under quarantine. According to our interviews with lawmakers since yesterday, the aim is to pass the Bayanihan Act of 2020 or any other related bill, giving the President the power to reallocate budget and gear funds for affected families para po hindi na sila mabigyan pa ng pagkakataon or ng dahilan para lumabas ng bahay at mabigay yung kanilang mga pangailangan. As a side note po, the palace denies that they're asking for an emergency powers for President Duterte. So if we will look into the goings-on at the lower house, makikita po natin doon na limited nga po yung seats doon sa ngayon sa may plenary at sa session hall at doon nga po ay nakita na natin na pumasok doon kanina si House Speaker Cayetano at natural po dumalo rin po doon si Executive Secretary Salvador Mejaldea to deliver at least yung letter of request ng Malacanang for this session at saka kung ano po yung needed by the executive for them to do their job in handling the COVID-19 situation. At sa ngayon po ay nagsimula na ang mga pangyayari doon sa lower house at sa ngayon ay nandun sila sa prayer portion po na matapos po na buksan na nga kanina ni House Speaker Cayetano ang session or ang special session. So, inyo po nakikita sa screen ay maliban doon sa nangyayari doon mismo sa plenary, ay nandoon po by way of application or by technology yung virtual presence naman po ng ilan sa mga kongresista na nasa mataas na parte po ng inyong screen. Makikita nyo ang ilan sa mga magpaparticipate na mga lawmakers dito sa sesyon. Kahit na sila po ay wala doon, ay papayagan po ito by way of making a motion para po maipasa na ito pangangailangan ng ehekutibo para nga tingnan kung anong magagawa at ma-handle yung situation, yung COVID situation dito sa Pilipinas. So pakinggan po natin at panoorin ang mga nangyayari sa Kongreso.
Majority Leader. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, you have the floor.
Yes. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. Yan po ang nasa Jeremiah 29:11. At anuman ang ating maging religion, during these most difficult times, this is the best time to remember na may Diyos at merong planong maganda para sa atin. Tayo po ay nagpapasalamat kay Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, katulad ng sinabi ng Minority Leader, for declaring the 4th week of March as a National Week of Prayer. But we are also thanking him for all he has done to try to defeat COVID-19, all he has done to delay and try to minimize yung pong ma-infect ng COVID-19. We reached today having to pass important legislation to address the national health emergency. But let us make it clear, what is this emergency? Marami pa rin po sa ating kababayan ang hindi nagso-social distancing, medyo parang piyesta pa sa kanilang lugar, nagiinuman, katabi, no? And they don't see that we can become dangers to each other. I talked to a health expert na malapit sa WHO at tinanong ko lang sa kanya, kung walang ginawa si President Duterte, what if President Duterte did not do anything? He did not order the quarantine, he did not order the enhanced community quarantine. What if members of Congress did not stand up and ask the DOH to do anything, just like Congresswoman Janet Garin here and the others, no? Congresswoman Helen, the chairman ng Health. Anong mangyayari sa atin? Sabi niya sa akin, Speaker, maaring mga 30% may infect. So sa 100 million Filipinos, mga 35 million. And 2% nun mamamatay. 700,000 people. So we face the nation today asking, tayo ba bilang mga Pilipino, willing ba tayo na magkasakit po ang mahigit 30 milyong Pilipino? Bawasan nyo pa ho, gawin nyo pang 10 million people ang na-infect or 20 million people po. Willing po ba tayo na 400,000 or 200,000 po na mga Pilipino mamamatay? Hindi po. That is why we are here today to pass this legislation. Why? There is a simple message from government. Stay home, save lives. Pero meron pong simple message pabalik sa atin ang karamihan ng ating kababayan. We stay home, we need resources. So we're here today to bridge that. So today, let's remember a simple way of calling each other. Paano ba natin tawagin mga Pilipino pa kahit nasa abroad tayo? Hindi ba sinisit-sitan natin? Psst, psst, Madjo. PSST. P, prayer. S, stay at home. S, save lives. And T, take home package or take home pay, which we will pass today. Today, we want to show the world that there will be unprecedented cooperation between the executive and the legislative. That there will be unprecedented cooperation internationally. That today you will see congressmen, governors, and mayors working hand in hand. This is our part, we will do our part. We will help the mayors, we will help the LGUs deliver these resources into the hands of each and every households. So I thank all the members of Congress for your hard work. Many of you warned us of this. And I thank all of you who are in your districts taking care of your people, but are with us online, and we will hear from you later on. Thank you, and let's get down to work. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, you have the floor.
We are As we are in the middle of a national calamity due to a public health emergency, given the present situation, where means of transportation are limited and the majority of members are on official business attending to their respective constituents, for the purposes of exigency, with the attendance of 299 members, including those who are deemed present in accordance with Section 71 of our rules, specifically 279 members on official business, the Chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we direct the Secretary General to read the title and the text of Proclamation Number 933.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title and text of Proclamation Number 933.
Malacanang Palace, Manila, by the President of the Philippines, Proclamation Number 933, calling the Congress of the Philippines to a special session. Pursuant to the powers vested in me under Section 15, Article 6 of the Constitution, I, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, President of the Philippines, do hereby call the Congress of the Philippines to a special session on March 23, 2020, or as soon as practicable to authorize the President to exercise powers necessary to carry out urgent measures to meet the current national emergency relating to the coronavirus disease, COVID-19, to provide ample latitude to utilize appropriate funds to strengthen governmental response against the threat of the said disease, and to continue providing basic services to the people, in addition to the urgent and critical measures implemented pursuant to Proclamation Numbers 922 and 929, Series of 2020, declaring a state of public health emergency and a state of calamity throughout the Philippines. In witness hereof, I hereby set my hand and cause the seal of the Republic of the Philippines to be affixed, done in the city of Manila this 21st day of March in the year of our Lord 2020, signed President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, by the President, signed Salvador C. del Dia, Executive Secretary.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we are in receipt of a message from the President certifying the necessity of the immediate approval of House Bill number 6616. I move that the Secretary General be directed to read the message.
The Secretary General is directed to read the message from the President.
Office of the President of the Philippines, Malacanang, Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, House Speaker, House of Representatives, Batasan Hills, Quezon City. Mr. Speaker, we are transmitting the letter of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte certifying the necessity of the immediate enactment of the subject bill entitled An Act to Declare the Existence of a National Emergency Arising from the Coronavirus 2019 COVID-19 Situation, a Unified National Policy in connection therewith, and to authorize the President of the Republic of the Philippines for a limited period and subject to restrictions to exercise powers necessary and proper to carry out the declared national policy and for other purposes pursuant to the provisions of Article 6, Section 26(2) of the 1987 Constitution. Best regards, very truly yours, signed, Salvador C. del Dia, Executive Secretary. Malacanang Palace, Manila, Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, House Speaker. Mr. House Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Article 6, Section 26(2) of the 1987 Constitution, I hereby certify to the necessity of the immediate enactment of the attached bill entitled An Act to Declare the Existence of a National Emergency Arising from the Coronavirus 2019 COVID-19 Situation, a Unified National Policy in connection therewith, and to authorize the President of the Republic of the Philippines for a limited period and subject to restrictions to exercise powers necessary and proper to carry out the declared national policy and for other purposes in order to authorize the President to exercise powers necessary to carry out urgent measures to meet the COVID-19 national health emergency. Very truly yours, signed President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, copy furnished Senator Vicente C. Soto, Senate President, Secretary Adelino B. Sitoy, Head, Presidential Legislative Liaison Office.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, for reasons of exigency and the health and safety of our members, as the whole country is under the state of calamity due to a public health emergency, with leave of the House, I move that we allow members to participate via live streaming to register their attendance and vote on any matter presented to the body by voice vote, chat, text message, Viber, or other electronic channels using their contact numbers pre-registered by the members and verified by the Secretary General.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we proceed to the reference of business and that the Secretary General be directed to read the same.
The Secretary General is directed to read the reference of business.
I move that we allow members to
Reference of Business Bill on first reading, House Bill number 6616, entitled An Act to Declare the Existence of a National Emergency Arising from the Coronavirus 2019 COVID-19 Situation and a National Policy in connection therewith, and authorizing the President of the Republic of the Philippines for a limited period and subject to restrictions to exercise powers necessary and proper to carry out the declared national policy and for other purposes by Representatives Cayetano, Alan Peter, Duterte, Villafuerte, Yap Eric, Romualdez Ferdinand, and Abante.
To the Committee on Rules.
Resolutions. House Resolution number 799, entitled Resolution Informing the Senate that the House of Representatives has entered upon the exercise of its functions by Representative Romualdez Ferdinand and Abante.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution number 800, entitled Resolution Declaring the Journal of the First Special Session of the 18th Congress as having been read and approved. Representatives Romualdez, Ferdinand, and Abante.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Concurrent Resolution number 7, entitled Concurrent Resolution Providing for the Adjournment of the First Special Session of the 18th Congress of the Philippines not later than 12 o'clock midnight today, Monday, March 23, 2020. Representatives Romualdez, Ferdinand, and Abante.
To the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider House Resolution 799 and direct the Secretary General to read the title and text of the said resolution.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title and text of House Resolution number 799.
House Resolution number 799, entitled Resolution Informing the Senate that the House of Representatives has entered upon the exercise of its functions.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of House Resolution number 799.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. House Resolution number 799 is hereby...
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
I don't have the copy of House Resolution 799.
Yes. Directing the SecGen, the Secretariat, to provide the lady with House Resolution number 799. We'll suspend for a minute.
Yes.
Suspend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. They'll give a copy. Ayan na, meron.
Sandali pong itinigil ang sesyon sa Kamara o sa mababang kapulungan dahil do sa question kung meron ng mga kopya ang karamihan sa mga dumalo ng special session na ito na sinasabing unprecedented dahil ito ay virtual session, ano po mga kapatid. At sa ngayon, base po sa nakuha nating ulat mula sa ating reporter dun sa Congress, ay meron ng 18 congressmen na nandoon physically po, at di pa po dyan kasama si House Speaker sa bilang na yan. At karamihan nga po nung mga iba pang dadalo ay by way of the application na Zoom o kaya ay through Viber or iba pang means ng komunikasyon. At ito po ay inaprubahan na kahit unprecedented nga ang tawag nila at sinasabi na parang hindi pa nagaganap dati at kung maaring meron lalabag na rules doon sa Kamara. Pero ito po ay sa pamamagitan ng isang motion na kanila pong binasa kanina at inaprubahan ni House Speaker ay tuloy-tuloy lamang nagagawin nila ito at naiintindihan na itong kasong to ay espesyal dahil nga sa kinakaharap nating krisis dulot nitong COVID-19. At nakakuha na rin po tayo ng impormasyon na yun pong mataas na kapulungan o ang Senado ay nagsisimula na rin po ng kanilang special session. Ang mangyayari po ngayon ay itong Kamara ay kailangan talakayin yung kanilang ipapasa po na tinatawag na Bayanihan Act of 2020, giving the President the power to reallocate budget at iba pang mga konektadong powers or pwedeng gawin ng ehekutibo para po ma-address yung pangangailangan ng ating mga kapatid o mga kababayan sa panahon po ng krisis dulot ng COVID-19. Pagkatapos po niyan, ay kailangan itong i-transmit o kaya ay i-advise ang Senate sa kanilang naging move. At tatakbo na nga po itong kanilang mga panukala. Nag-resume na po ang session. Pakinggan po natin.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of House Resolution number 799.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. House Resolution number 799 is hereby adopted.
Mr. Speaker, at this juncture, I would like to acknowledge the presence of some of our honored and esteemed guests from the executive. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea of the Executive Secretary's Office, along with Michael Ong, his Senior Deputy Executive Secretary. We would also like to acknowledge the esteemed presence of Secretary Eduardo Año, the Department of Interior and Local Government Secretary. To many of us here, a very, very important secretary as well, Secretary Wendell Avisado of the Department of Budget and Management. We also welcome their staff and the parties that have accompanied them here during this time of urgency and exigency. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The House welcomes the said individuals and thanks the Executive for sending the highest possible level of delegation after the President himself. So thank you very much for being with us at this crucial point of our fighting the COVID-19. Majority Leader.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
We haven't.
Thank you.
Kasalukuyan nga po nakasuspende muli ang ang sesyon doon sa mababang kapulungan o sa lower house at ito ay parang sa pag-aayos ng magiging kanilang itinerary or kanilang mga gagawin para sa araw na ito kaugnay doon sa kanilang pagpasanga po nitong mga dapat na bigay na tulong sa ating ehekutibo para maharap ng ating Pangulo at ng ating mga ahensya yung COVID-19 situation dito sa Pilipinas. At katulad nga ng sinabi natin kanina, only 20 House members are allowed to be physically present in the special session. Sa count natin kanina ay nasa 90 na sila na nandiyan ngayon at present. At before po nagkaroon ng break doon sa session ay in-acknowledge ni House Speaker at ng ilang opisyal yung presence po ni Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea kung saan po siya yung representante ng ehekutibo kung saan ang ehekutibo nga po yung nag-request sana na bibigyan ng kakayahan ang Pangulo na kilusin ang ating mga ahensya para labanan ng COVID-19 situation sa bansa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider messages from the Senate and direct the Secretary General to read the messages.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the messages from the Senate.
Messages from the Senate. Message dated March 23, 2020, informing the House of Representatives that a quorum is present in the Senate and that this body has entered upon the exercise of its functions to consider certain legislative matters in a special session called by the President of the Philippines.
To the archives.
Message dated March 23, 2020, creating a joint committee of both houses to notify the President of the Philippines that Congress has convened its first special session and there being a quorum, said Congress has already entered upon the exercise of its functions.
To the calendar of business for the day. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that
Sessions suspended.
Nakikita dahil nga nasuspindi na naman sa ikatlong pagkakataon na yata ang session ngayon sa lower house ay yung mga ibang miyembro ng Kamara at ilang mga representante nga po na ngayon nakikita doon sa app na Zoom at sila yung nagpa-participate via this application at yung iba naman po ay nasa Viber daw at kausap ng mga kawani ng lower house. At habang po nangyayari po yan ay nagsimula din nga sa Senate at mamaya ay kukuha tayo ng update doon. Pero balikan muna natin ito dahil nagsisimula na ulit ang session dito sa lower
Senate
house.
Concurrent Resolution number 10. Concurrent resolution providing for the adjournment of the first special session of the 18th Congress of the Philippines not later than 12 o'clock midnight today, March 23, 2020.
Session suspended.
Okay, sinabi po doon ng isang opisyal ng Kamara na dapat aprubahan na ang special session ay dapat na matapos bago mag alas 12 ng hating gabi mamaya. Meaning, pwede naman po hindi magtagal ng ganun doon. Sabi rin naman sa atin ni Congressman Joey Salceda ay bibilisan naman nila yung proseso ngayong araw na ito para nga agad itong maitransmit sa mataas na kapulungan. At sa ngayon nga ay nakikita nyo pa rin ang ilan sa mga kongresista na nakaantabay sa kanilang mga lugar habang inaayos pa doon sa lower house kung ano yung magiging pagkakasunod-sunod ng kanilang
Session
pagtalakay.
resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to withdraw my earlier motion to adopt Senate Concurrent Resolution number 10.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adopt Senate Concurrent Resolution number 9 and to direct the Secretary General to read the said resolution.
Any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title and text of Senate Concurrent Resolution number 9.
Senate Concurrent Resolution number 9. Concurrent resolution creating a joint committee of both houses to notify the President of the Philippines that Congress has convened its first special session and there being a quorum, said Congress has already entered upon the exercise of its functions.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt said.
Any objection? The chair hears none. Senate Concurrent Resolution number 9 is hereby adopted.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the adoption of the Senate Concurrent Resolution number 9, I move that we elect the following members to the Joint Committee to notify the President of the Philippines that Congress has convened its first special session. The following members: Romualdez, Villafuerte, Puno, Palma, Abante, Garin, Abaya, Lopez, Castelo, Yap, and Tolentino.
Any objection? The chair is none. The motion is approved. The members of the House of Representatives named are appointed and requested to immediately discharge their responsibility. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, in order to give the members of the Joint Committee time to perform their assigned tasks and report back their accomplishments to the House, I move that we suspend the session for a minute.
Session suspended. Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we have received word from our representatives of the Joint Committee that the Office of the President has been duly informed of the convening of Congress for its third special session.
The remarks of the Majority Leader are noted. Majority Leader. Sessions suspended.
6616 lang. Ayan.
Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, House Bill 6616, entitled An Act to Declare the Existence of a National Emergency arising from the Coronavirus 2019 situation and a national policy in connection therewith, and authorizing the President of the Republic of the Philippines for a limited period and subject to restrictions to exercise powers necessary and proper to carry out the declared national policy and for other purposes, was referred to the Committee on Rules. Mr. Speaker, upon authority granted to the Majority Leader by the Committee on Rules to act on House Bill number 6616 and pursuant to Rule 18, Section 137 and 138 of the Rules of the House, I move that the House be constituted into a Committee of the Whole in order for the House to consider the said measure.
Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Majority Leader, Representative Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, be designated to preside over the Committee of the Whole, and Representative Wilter Sharkey Palma be designated to act as floor leader. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Majority Floor Leader, Representative Martin Romualdez, shall preside over the Committee of the Whole, and Representative Wilter Palma shall be designated as the floor leader. The session is suspended to give way to the proceedings of the Committee of the Whole.
Babalikan po natin ang virtual session ng Kamara. Maya-maya po yan mga kapatid. Let's take a quick rundown on the top of the hour news. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is pushing for an intensified crackdown against false news. Gatchalian described the persistent spread of disinformation a pandemic worse as the COVID-19. He said that both NBI and PNP should expedite their investigation to track down, sue and lock up fake newsmongers over the internet. Gatchalian also believes that putting them in jail will send a strong message to those who spread disinformation. Meanwhile, Gatchalian also wants the public to be vigilant against scams like fake donation drives for frontliners and other affected by the enhanced community quarantine. At dahil nga po naglipa na ang fake news, ilang mamimili po ay nagpanik na. Inakala kasi ng ilan na totoo ang balibalitang nationwide lockdown sa susunod na linggo. At para sa update sa presyo ng mga pangunahing bilihin, nagbabalita ng live mula sa Mega Q-Mart si Shaila Francisco. Shaila, kamusta dyan?
Jovino, mataas pa rin yung presyo ng kalamansi at luya sa ilang pamilihan sa Metro Manila. Ang kalamansi, dati yan nasa 120 pesos kada kilo, pero ngayon nasa 160 pesos kada kilo. Ang luya naman, kung dating nasa 100 piso kada kilo, ngayon ay nasa 250 pesos. Ayon sa mga tinderang nakausap natin, bukod sa tumaas yung demand, nakaapekto rin sa pagtaas ng presyo yung pagkaantala ng mga delivery na supply. Dulot ng mga checkpoints, bunsod na ipinatutupad ng enhanced community quarantine. Ito rin yung tinuturong dahilan kung bakit nagtaas daw yung presyo ng ilang bigas ng mga supplier papunta sa mga retailer. Ayon sa mga retailer na kausap natin, ang kuha nila sa kada 50 kilo na bag ng bigas mula 1,650 na sa 1,700 na ngayon. Ayon sa samang industriya ng agrikultura, wala naman dahilan para magtaas ang presyo dahil hindi nagbago yung presyo ng farm gate prices. Kaya posibleng sa delivery nagtaas ng presyo. Sa kabila niyan, nagdesisyon pa rin yung mga retailers na huwag na ipasa sa mga consumers kasi tulong na daw nila ito sa mga mamimili lalo't kapos sa budget ngayon. Samantala, bagsak naman ang presyo ng manok na dating nasa 160 pesos kada kilo ay nasa 140 pesos na ito ngayon. Maging sa mga farm gate prices ayon sa United Broilers Raisers Association, bumaba raw din yung farm gate prices. Bunsod nga yan na dahil mas konti yung kliyente, mas maraming nasa stock na mga stock mga supply doon sa mga supplier. Kaugnay naman yan, Jovi, no, nagpaalala ang Department of Agriculture at Department of Trade and Industry na may pinatutupad na price freeze ngayon at SRP sa ilang produkto. Jovi?
Shaila, meron ka ba nakausap man lang ng mga mamimili dyan, na sinasabing na ang naging dahilan ng pagsugod nila o pagpunta sa mga palengke ay nang dahil dun sa kumalat na chismis o fake news na magkakaroon ng talagang total lockdown?
Oo, no, may mga nakausap tayong mga mamimili niya. Natakot sila dun sa kumalat na fake news na sinasabing magsasarado daw yung mga supermarkets at irarasyon na lang daw yung mga pagkain. Kahit kinlaro na fake news yan ng palasyo at ng mga ilang senador, natatakot pa rin yung mga mamimili kasi dati daw may kumalat na rin na fake news na lockdown pero nagkatotoo a few days after. So para makasigurado, marami na silang binili ngayon. Yung nakausap natin na dating mga 4 kilos lang yung binibili, isang sako na ng bigas yung binibili ngayon. Yung dati rin pa isa-isang itlog, ngayon 2 tray na yung binibili. So marami ding nagpanik doon sa kumalat na balita na yun, Jovi.
Okay, maraming salamat, Shaila Francisco. Baguio City has set up sanitation tents to curtail the spread of COVID-19 in the city. The city government has rolled out tents with spray system in critical public areas such as hospital entrances. Health workers, frontliners, and others who can't afford to stay home may go through sterilization for 30 seconds. Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong says it is targeting to install 20 units within the day, which will be located in various hospitals, including the Baguio General Hospital and SLU Hospital of the Sacred Heart. The low-cost disinfecting tents were developed by University of the Philippines professionals and are seen to cater to more Baguio citizens in the coming days. Information dissemination is in the time of COVID-19 gets a boost courtesy of Google. The search engine has launched a portal dedicated to the pandemic as coronavirus has become its biggest search topic this year. The page features safety tips, symptoms, and treatments, as well as links to important sources like the World Health Organization and the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. It also covers official COVID-19 related statistics across the United States. Although Google has yet to zoom into information in regions outside the U.S., the portal may be accessed through google.com/COVID-19. Mga kapatid, yan po ang latest for this hour. We now go back to Congress para po sa kanilang virtual session.
Robbie, come here.
Mga kapatid, inyo pong inyo nga pong nakikita ang plenaryo po sa May Batasan Complex kung saan ilan po sa mga kongresista ay physically present doon. 19 yung nasa bilang namin kanina based on our reporters details. Pero hanggang 20 po yung pwedeng nandiyan at umupo sa plenaryo. Samantalang yung nakita nyo kanina mga split screen o yung mga marami pong mga frame na nandun po yung mga kongresista. Yun po yung motion kanina na pinayagan na po ng Kamara na maski wala po at hindi po present dyan physically yung mga kongresista ay pwede silang sumali sa diskusyon at sa botohan na magaganap mamaya para dun sa kanilang mga i-aproba na bill. At ito nga pong ang layunin nga po, i-recap lang natin. Una, kaya po naka-break ngayon ay dahil ginagawa po nung kakatalaga pa lamang na Committee of the Whole sa pamumuno ni Representative Martin Romualdez na mga bagong rules o yung rules na gagamitin nila para sa discussion for today bago maipasa yung request nga ng Malacanang na mga extra powers po, hindi special or emergency or hindi po yung mga kailangan po na powers na
The meeting
meron
of
ang
the Committee of the
Kongreso
Whole is
para
called to order.
matalakay po at maharap ng ehekutibo
Mr. Chairman, I
ang
move that we dispense
COVID-19
with the calling of the roll of the
situation.
members.
Okay, nandito na po tayo sa mukhang ang Kongreso po,
Is there any
lower house
objection?
ay handa ng mag-roll call. At
The chair hears
medyo,
none.
pakinggan po natin ito dahil yung iba po ay hindi dyan
calling
physically
roll is
present, so they will say
Leader
present
or
by
floor
way
leader?
of the
Mr. Chairman, I
application.
move that we adopt the ground rules of the Committee of the Whole House, copy of which have been distributed earlier. And may I be allowed to read the ground rules, Mr. Chairman?
Is
Number
there
one.
any objection? Majority.
Mr. Chairman, with your indulgence. Number one, members who wish to interpolate shall be given 3 minutes each to do so and shall be recognized alternately by the chairperson in the following order. First, the minority. Second would be the majority. And lastly would be the independents. And ground rule number 2, the Committee of the Whole shall prepare and approve its report, which it shall thereafter report to the plenary for action by the House.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none.
Objection. Majority.
Mr. Chairman, may I request the Honorable Franz Castro be recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Congresswoman Fra-
May I know, in number 1, so there will be minority, majority, and independent who will be interpolate in 3 minutes. So minority means 1 from the
No,
minority.
this is just the sequence,
So-
Madam, Your Honor. Just the sequence.
Okay.
Members of the minority will be given priority, and next to be called would be
For
members
just
of the
3
majority.
minutes kasi may mga concerns halimbawa na hindi rin naman.
This is 3 minutes of the question, not including the answers po.
Okay, so I manifest that I will be interpolating.
With pleasure, Your Honor.
Majority.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the ground rules for the Committee of the Whole.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the House bill.
Are we allowed to participate in this committee of the whole?
Is there any objections on the approval of the ground rules? The chair hears none. Said motion is approved.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we consider House Bill number 6616, and may I request the Committee Secretariat be directed to read the title of the said measure. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the House bill number 6616.
House Bill number 6616, an act to declare the existence of a national emergency arising from the coronavirus 2019 COVID-19 situation and a national policy in connection therewith, and authorizing the President of the Republic of the Philippines for a limited period and subject to restrictions to exercise powers necessary and proper to carry out the declared national policy and for other purposes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we recognize the author of the bill, the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, the Honorable Eric Yap, to give his sponsorship on the bill.
Representative Eric Goyap is recognized to sponsor the measure. Please proceed.
As a legislator from the party list group whose main concern is to address anti-crime and terrorism, and the moniker ang party list ng inaapi, we strongly support the leadership and the President Roa Duterte in its quest towards ending the COVID-19 crisis. Ito ay hindi lang namin laban, kung hindi laban natin lahat para mapabuti ang kapakanan ng bawat Pilipino. Ito ang panahon ng pagsasama-sama at ng pagtiwala sa isa't isa. Kahit ngayon lang po, kalimutan muna natin ang kulay sa politika. Kalimutan lang po muna natin ang galit. At kahit ngayon lang po, tayo po ay maging iisa. iisang Pilipino. With that, Mr. Speaker, on the part of majority, I strongly recommend the adoption of the Bayanihan We Heal as One Act. Magandang umaga po at maraming salamat.
Majority, Floor Leader.
Mr. Chairman, may I move that we allow our resource person, the Executive Secretary, the Honorable Salvador Medellea, to give his remarks.
The Executive Secretary, Salvador Medellea, is hereby recognized to sponsor the measure.
Distinguished members of Congress, we live in very unusual times, a time when in order for us to show compassion to our fellow men, most of us are called upon to keep our distance from them rather than to approach them. It is a time when our normal way of life has been severely changed, as if it was turned upside down. We are not alone in this. Because of the threat of this dreaded disease we know as COVID-19, the whole world is in disarray. As German Chancellor Angela Merkel said in her address to her people, along with the rest of the world, the Philippine government has been trying to address this crisis through measures that are unprecedented. Merkel, in her address to her people, the coronavirus is currently dramatically changing our lives, our standing of normality, of public life, of social togetherness. All this is being tested as never before. Millions of you cannot go to your work. Your children cannot go to school or to kindergarten. Theaters, cinemas, and stores are closed. And what is perhaps the hardest, we all miss the social encounters that usually are natural. The Chancellor was referring to the situation of her own country, Germany. But her words ring as true to us as if she was talking to Filipinos. Along with the rest of the world, the Philippine government has been trying to address this crisis through measures that are unprecedented. Never before has the government required nearly all the citizens of Luzon to stay in their homes for 24 hours, allowing them to live only to buy their basic necessities. It is a step we were reluctant to take, but the circumstances and the experience of nations worldwide convinced us that we had no other choice. Truly, we live in highly unusual times. But today, we secretaries and senior officials of the executive branch now come before you, honorable members of Congress, believing that in a time of crisis, the rule of law should prevail. We come before you with the conviction that in the most challenging of times, our democratic institutions are up to the challenge and will prevail. We therefore approach the distinguished members of Congress, the elected legislators of our people, to ask for a law that will enable the President and the executive branch the legal authority to address this crisis in a manner that is free from the restrictions which, while beneficial during normal times, might prove disadvantageous during such an unusual time as this. In so doing, we do not desire to overstep the bounds of Constitution, which remains firmly in place even in times of emergency. In each of the powers we are requesting the Congress to grant the President, our objective is to hasten the delivery of services to those who are suffering or are suspected of having COVID-19, to halt its spread, and to bring relief to the rest of our countrymen who are now constrained to stay in their homes and give up for a time their ability to earn a daily living. Thus, among the legal authorities we are asking from you today is the ability to purchase equipment for our health workers on the front lines in the most expeditious way possible, without being restricted by existing procurement laws. For our laws have provisions for emergency procurement, even these are subject to procedures that are no longer appropriate to the situation we are facing today. We also ask for authority to ensure that our local governments will fall in line with the national policy for dealing with this crisis. We believe that under existing laws, they already have that legal obligation to comply with standards that the national government has set regarding community quarantine. But the confusion sowed by the local government units who are acting on their own, preventing the entry of people and cargo in their territories when the national government has already exempted them from the quarantine restriction, is making life for the entire country more difficult than it already is. We thus appeal to Congress to enable the national government to swiftly deal with such wayward officials. We also appeal to Congress to enable the President to move deadlines and timelines for the filing of taxes and other requirements, as well as the payment of benefits such as mid-year and year-end bonuses. The question of extending deadline for income tax filing was an issue the past few weeks, and we have dealt with it by adjusting the deadline so as not to further burden our people who are on community quarantine. But if Congress will grant us this clear authority, such issues would be addressed without any delay. We also ask Congress to enable the President to more freely reallocate the budget in the General Appropriations Act and use the funds for addressing COVID-19. And now I come to the requested power that has been stirring some controversy since yesterday, and I believe unjustifiably so, the power to take over private establishments. Even as originally worded, the intent of the proposal was simply to grant to government a standby power. It is a power which do not consider necessary to be exercised at all time, because the establishments that are needed to deal with this crisis have, to their credit, been mostly cooperating with government. But we only desire such a power to be legislated because the virus we are up against is so unpredictable and can spread rapidly in a community. The power to take over is intended merely as a standby power in the event the crisis reaches its worst, when our most critical institutions are nearing a total shutdown and government is left with no choice but to take over these establishments. We are requesting it this early because we do not know how quickly our Congress can convene if and when we reach that point. Thus, for the benefit of our people, we opted to include it in our requested authorities. But as I said, this government believes that our democratic way of life will prevail through this crisis. As a testament to that conviction, we listen to the advice of our legislators and the opinions of our countrymen, and have adjusted our proposal by narrowing it down and subjecting it to safeguards in addition to what we originally proposed. We hope our modified proposal would now merit our legislators' approval and our people's wholehearted consent. you may be assured that we only aim to equip your government with all the legal authorities necessary so that we can, at the shortest time, bring our life as a nation back to normalcy. Our legislators would note that the powers we are requested today have their own expiry date, as they would last only as long as COVID-19 crisis would last. And Congress itself would be able to closely monitor the actions of the executive through oversight committee to be created by the proposed law. We assure Congress and our countrymen that this administration has no intent to abuse the powers we are asking of you today. When this administration declared martial law in Mindanao, there were similar speculations that we were about to do away with our democratic institutions. But what happened? Martial law in Mindanao came and went peacefully without the abuses prevalent in the martial law of 1970s and early 80s. In fact, the two cannot even be compared. It would be like comparing a rotten apple to a freshly picked orange. The President and his administration has no intention at all to use these powers to its own advantage, but only for our people's advantage. Your administration simply desires to be equipped with all the legal authorities necessary for us to serve our people during this crisis in the most expeditious way and to bring an end to this national order at the soonest possible time, all the while remaining true to our democratic institutions, abiding by the rule of law, and upholding the supremacy of the Constitution. We thus request the members of Congress to grant these legal authorities to the national government. Through this legislation and your continued support, magbayanihan tayo and let us all heal as one. God bless us all.
We would like to thank the esteemed Honorable Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea for his speech. We are one with him and the President with the Bayanihan Act and We Heal as One Act that we will be propounding forward today.
Mr. Chairman,
Majority Leader.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we suspend the committee hearing for a few minutes.
Suspended.
Habang sandali pong nakasuspinde ang sesyon sa Kamara, atin po i-recap katatapos lamang magbigay ng kanyang speech o kaya ay kanyang mga pahayag doon sa submission nga po ng ehekutibo ng kanilang request sa Congress para doon sa powers needed to face or combat COVID-19. Sinabi po ni Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea na ito daw po kailang hinihiling ay powers na restricted po at limited din yung period of time hanggang dun lamang po sa panahon na meron pang matuturing na krisis dahil sa COVID-19. At ito ay para kanila pong mabigyan agad ng mabilis na aksyon, yung cargo, yung food supply, yung mga procurement process po na talaga napaka-importante lalo na sa pamahalaan. Hindi sila basta-basta pwedeng kumuha ng mga supplies kung wala yung proseso na yan. At syempre para po yung budget na napagdesisyonan nung nakaraang taon pa ay kapag ginamit nila rito ay pwede nilang mag-reallocate sila or dalhin sa ibang mas importanteng paggagastusan. At sinabi po ni Secretary E.S. Medialdea na talaga naman daw po na sa kanilang original proposal tila ay parang humingi talaga sila doon ng ng powers na parang pwedeng mag-take over ng mga kumpanya na importante at inamin na po yan pero sa kanila daw po minodify yung kanilang proposal matapos silang pakinggan yung mga nag-reaction kahapon ng publiko pati na rin po ng mga legislators. So ito po ay hindi na nila ipupush at pinaliwanag naman niya na ito daw kanilang request na powers ay na inalmahan ng marami po sa ating mga lawmakers, pati na rin mga maraming kababayan natin, ay parang standby lang na naman daw po. Ibig sabihin, ayaw na po nila sana na kapag dumating sa sitwasyon na hindi na maganda at talagang lumala na yung sitwasyon natin dito sa ating bansa because of COVID-19, ay saka pa lang sila kikilos para tatawagin pa ulit ang Kongreso para sila ay aprubahan sa kanilang gustong gawin. So, pero ngayon ay iniurong na nga daw po ito ng Malacanang according to him. Yung pong kanilang tinatalakay ngayon bilang isang Committee of the Whole ay ang HB 6616 na sponsor po ng measure ito ay si Representative Eric Yap. At ngayon nga po ay tigil pa sumandali ang sesyon, pero inyong nakikita sa inyong screen ang ilan po sa mga nagpa-participate na mga mambabatas na nasa kanila po mga probinsya o distrito at o bahay dahil hindi po sila physically pwedeng pumunta sa Batasan Complex or sa Congress po. At ito nga po ang tinatawag na virtual special session at ang ibig po sabihin nito ay mga 20 lamang po yung allowed na nandoon physically sa loob ng Kamara o ng plenary at yung iba naman ay magpa-participate through the application. Ang ginagamit daw, sabi ng mga kongresista, ay Zoom o kaya ay Viber at doon po mangyayari yung kanilang partisipasyon. Meaning, pwede po silang mag-interpolate by way of that application o kaya ay padala ang kanilang magiging boto mamaya kapag na-discuss na ng todo yung House Bill 6616. At sinabi na rin po yung ground rules, while bahagi, yung iba pa ay hindi pa napagdedesisyonan. Pero kahit na po kinwestiyon ni Party List Representative Franz Castro at nagpapaklarify siya, sinabi po doon ay bibigyan ng 3 minuto ng pagtatanong ang bawat kongresista. Hindi po kasama doon yung kanilang yung mga sagot naman na makukuha nila o mga gusto kung meron pa silang follow-up questions. Pero ang malinaw po, hanggang alas 12 ng madaling araw ay pwede po magtuloy-tuloy ang hearing na yan or special session of virtual na yan. Pero sabi nga ng mga kongresista kahapon pa man, hindi nila kailangan patagalin ito dahil nakakaisa sila doon sa layunin na agad nating maibigay sa ehekutibo yung kapangyarihan para harapin ang krisis na kinakaharap ngayon ng ating bansa dulot ng COVID-19. Inyo po nakikita sa inyong screen ang ilan po sa mga kongresista, although hindi masyadong malalapit, may konting distansya sa isa't isa ay nagbibigay-pugay po kay Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea. At kapansin-pansin po na ang gallery ay halos wala ng tao dyan. Maski po ang mga staff, ayon sa ating mga kongresista, ay hindi naman nila pinapasok na kung hindi talaga vital yung magiging role dyan. Dahil pwede rin naman daw work from home o ipasa na lamang sa kanila yung mga requirements na kailangan ng kongresista para lalo pang maintindihan itong tatalakayin nilang panukalang batas. At bilang din po, sabi namin kanina nga, 20 lamang itong mga table at saka chair na nakikita nyo ngayon. Kung madalas kayo manood ng session na proceedings ay halos punong-puno yan at talagang magkakatabi ang mga kongresista. Pero this time, magkakalayo po ang kanilang mga mesa. At mamaya makikita nyo rin, parang halos ganyan din ang nangyayari sa Senate ngayon. Magkakalayo ng hindi katulad ng dati makakatikita ng mga lamesa, ay magkakalayo din. At doon naman ay dinig namin ay at least meron ng 3 na hindi makakadalo o nakadalo doon sa special session ng Senado. So ipapakita namin sa inyo as soon as available po yung aming feed from the Senate. So sa ngayon ay inihintayin natin at inaantabayanan yung pag-resume po ng sesyon para maging tuloy-tuloy na ang pagtalakay sa HB 6616. Pasumadali po namin ititigil yung aming pag-live feed sa inyo nung nangyayari doon sa session. Pero huwag kayong mag-alala, babalik po ang inyong mga kasamahan dito sa TV5, sa News 5, sa One News, sa Radyo 5 at 1PH at pati sa mga digital components po namin. Maya-maya lamang po para maayos namin yung iba pa mga feeds na gusto namin makita nyo sa araw na ito. Pagbabalik po kami.